Ramona, what's up?
Sorry about that.
All good. It's very busy times, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on.
So, I mean, congratulations on getting this opportunity. Are you getting sick of people congratulating you yet?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm sick of it. It's kind of nice. Obviously, just this is something I've worked towards for so long, and it's
Yeah.
nice that it's happening.
I know. Has it kicked in yet? I mean, obviously, all the scheduling stuff that we were just talking about, but it's not probably not going to feel real till you're actually in the cage, right?
Yeah, yeah, probably. I mean, I've waited for this opportunity for so long, and I've seen, I've cornered teammates. I've been to the Apex. I've just been amongst sort of like it all, I guess. Being the PI in Shanghai, and
Hmm.
it's sort of everything's kind of been set up and the ball's been rolling since 2019. So um, it's definitely going to be surreal when I'm like in there, in the Venom gear and all that. But it's also, I've visualized this moment like for so long and so many times that it's somewhat familiar.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a very unique kind of path to get here, like you said, being a part of all the things like at the Shanghai PI and just around. You've been around the UFC a lot, that's kind of the thing without actually being on the roster until now.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So very, very cool. Very happy for you. And I did watch your interview with JHK, so shout out to him. Great guy. And you guys were talking about, how the fight came together. So I'm not going to ask you specifically about that since he already, talked about it. But do you know what happened with Jennifer Gonzalez? Because I know it's kind of a mystery. She was supposed to fight Nunes. Did they tell you anything about that?
Um, I have no idea.
All right.
No idea.
Yeah. Just how these things happen sometime, but
Yeah.
very cool. Very cool for you. And fighting with Ji Yeon Kim, your teammate, as you mentioned there, is that nice? Have you fought with a teammate before? I mean, was it add anything negative or positive?
It's good. It's always good. It's always nice. Yeah, I have fought with teammates before. When I was in at the Shanghai PI, like there would be like six of us on the same fight card or like 10 of us on the same fight card. So it's nice to go through that with other people that you've, you know, trained with and you share the mat with and grind with every day. And there's this shared, it's kind of knowing that you're not there alone, even though you are fighting in there alone at the end of the day. And it's kind of like someone else is going through the same thing you're going through or similar. And so, yeah, it's always nice to be able to share a card with a teammate.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't get to catch up since your Invicta win, which was obviously about as perfect of a performance as you could have had right there. I don't think you took any shots, but what was it
Yeah.
like competing in Invicta? I mean, obviously the first fight in America, but a promotion like them, what was that entire experience like?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was my first time in Kansas City, but yeah, I mean, it's an all female. I mean, it's one of the well, it is the most well known female only promotion in the world. So I think the fact that they really support and really try to encourage female MMA and try to kind of empower us to have our own cards is really awesome. And of course, it's also been a promotion that I've really wanted to fight in for a while, knowing that they're also a feeder organization to the UFC. And yeah, I couldn't have imagined a better promotion to debut in the US with.
Did you notice a difference between fighting in the States compared to outside the States, or is it just all the kind of the same?
Um, yeah, I mean, this would have been like a bigger show. I mean, even though there were no spectators, so I think there's just more organization involved when you fly a lot of fighters from overseas. Because usually it's like if I'm going to fighting in Hong Kong, it'd be like mostly local fighters and like some from overseas. Or if I'm fighting, in China, then it would be kind of more domestic, but everyone's from kind of around there. But yeah, I don't know. All the fighting events that I've been a part of have always been like a little different. Like some in a studio, this one was in a church. Yep. Some ones in like small arenas. So yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, and then going to the Apex here, which is still not the biggest thing you can be in, but a very unique atmosphere, and I'm sure you've been to it already before too, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I've only been to the Octagon one time, and that was when JoJo fought the last time. But yeah, it was nice to kind of be able to experience like what that's going to be like how are you going to get put, shuttled in the warm up rooms, and then getting out to the cage, and then see the doctor after, and then leaving. And then they've also got like a workout area where I think it's like a warm up area as well that we do our strength conditioning in sometimes when the PI is unavailable.
Right, right. And I mean, just what has been like all the support like for you, Ramona? I mean, obviously a big deal for Hong Kong MMA is you getting into the UFC and having this fight. What has kind of been the immediate reception? Has been a little overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been great. I've had a lot of, close friends, close teammates that after hearing the news and they're seeing their reaction has been like just priceless, just absolutely priceless. And then there's some people that are kind of like, oh, about time,
Right.
And there's some people who are like, oh, I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. So, kind of mixed, but everyone's really happy for me. And it's just, very humbling. And I'm so grateful to, have all this support.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And if it's too personal, you can stop me now, but I follow you on Instagram, and I see that your partner has made the travels over to the States, right? Or at least recently he did. And I mean, that's a very cool and important thing, I would imagine, to have that kind of support system finally with you, and especially at this moment. So has that been a good impact on things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you find the right person who you align with, and you have similar goals in your respective fields, you get to feed off of each other and that energy. And, he's definitely been supporting me a lot. And it's been really great to have someone, on your great days or on your off days, and just to keep things in a perspective as well.
And he was in your corner for the last fight too?
Yeah, he was there. He didn't walk out with us,
Okay.
but he was basically there with the warm up and the weight cut and everything.
Was that a first for you? Is it a little bit too close to job and personal life, or?
At first I thought it would be an issue, I'm like, oh, maybe I don't want to mix the two, but then it ended up being like working out really well. So he's actually going to be in my corner as well this time around. And he just, he's like kind of really good with being like, reading the room and trying to figure out like how he fits in. And then, he's not trying to be overbearing and kind of following, John Wood's lead and
Right.
all that. So
yeah, kind of understanding that, maybe not as knowledgeable as the coach necessarily, but still a great person to have with you. So
yeah. And exactly.
So taking on Josiane Nunes, who also relatively new to the UFC, kind of looks like an Andrade light, I would say, at least so far. But so what do you make of her?
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely just like everything about her, right? But what do you make of her as your first opponent? I mean, obviously not a lot of time to prepare, but from what you've seen so far.
Oh, I'm ready. I mean, she's aggressive. She's a banger. She's going to come out swinging. She's going to pressure forward, and I'm definitely ready for that kind of challenge. And honestly, I can't wait. I think the pressure is exciting, and I really love that I'll be able to do this. She's only had one fight in the UFC, so not super experienced as far as octagon fights go. So it's kind of like a good time and like a good way for me to get test myself as well, come in there, and see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because it's kind of a position that you've been in on both sides of things, where you're coming in right now, kind of save the day, and you've also been on the side of losing the opponent, which your last fight specifically. So is one more beneficial than the other?
It's different. I don't know. I don't know if I would say one is more beneficial than the other, because it's like my last one, you could say that maybe she wasn't prepared. I don't know if she was like training that much. So that was like a disadvantage for her. But then the switch up was also a little weird for me. And then this time around, it's like I'm coming in short notice, but at the same time, I've also been in camp for a fight.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get booked on later in March, right? So it almost worked out, because then I'm not thinking about the fight, getting anxiety and all the nerves and these different things that go in a fight camp. And I just hit training. I've been hitting training so hard, which I normally wouldn't do this close to a fight. And so that's kind of just given me confidence of like, I'm so ready. Like I'm in great shape right now. And all there is left to do is cut the weight, and I'm on track to do that. So it'll be good. It might even work out better, you know, just short notice thing where it's like, oh, 1 week, you go straight into fight week, do the depletion and all that, but it doesn't drag out, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, almost like maybe it was meant to be, right? So,
Yeah, I like to say so.
of course. And I know that you've always been talking about getting back to the bantamweight division at some point, and finally now, perfect opportunity. You know, after this fight, whether it's the one after or whenever, right? That option is there. Just what are your kind of your general thoughts on the UFC bantamweight division right now? I feel like it's going through a weird stage where we're seeing kind of finally some new people, and obviously at the top there's been a shuffle with Juliana Pena. I'm sure that caught you off guard like it did many of us, but what do you just kind of make of that entire landscape? Not to look ahead too far, but you know, obviously I'm sure you're thinking about it a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's very competitive division, and I would, you know, absolutely just I'm so excited to be a part of it. Um, I think there are a lot of great fighters in that division, a lot of veterans in that division, people that I've looked up to, you know, or just, you know, watched and followed for so long. And it'll be awesome for me to get in the mix and see how I measure up to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, any addition will be a welcome one, I would say, and for you who's been working so hard to get here. And I wanted to ask Ramona about Jon Jordan, who you've worked with. Correct me if I'm wrong there. What has it
Yeah.
been like? What was it like working with him? And you know, has he helped you understand positions and striking as well as you know the changes in rhythm a bit?
Yeah. I think he really opened up my mind to the creativity, you know, of striking and of boxing. It's great because we actually went to high school together
Oh
many years,
wow!
like 8 years ago. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, just being, and that was during that time I started training with him. It was during COVID. And so, like, I wasn't able to do anything. I was at home. So that was really good for me to get the kind of work that I needed. That was more like, let's break down your fundamentals. Let's look at the things that you're doing and like little nuances of striking, which you probably don't have time to do during fight camp, you know, and
Hmm.
especially when you're doing MMA and you're wrestling or you're juggling wrestling, jujitsu, you know, striking, sparring and all that. So we were able to really focus in on like, you know, we train like 4 or 5 times a week. And a lot of it was definitely neurological with reprogramming the way that I see movement and the way that I see footwork and all these little things that I wouldn't have time for probably now. So yeah, it was awesome. And then yeah, just you know, every coach that you work with, they're like a good one, which he is. You get like a new perspective on the sport, you know, and then it's kind of just you level up with the way that you think about it. So yeah, he was really great to work with.
Yeah, and were there any specific methods that he might have showed you to you know help level up the striking? I mean, without I guess giving anything away.
Oh man, there were so many. There's so many. I mean, it wasn't just like the hands; it was like the kicking as
Hmm.
well. Um, but I would say the one thing that he would always say, CNS, that's your central nervous system. But then you always kind of have to be never like rigid or flat-footed and kind of like shifting your weight between both legs, which is, you know, what like a lot of really good fighters do, just so you're ready to offload something or react to something either like defensively or offensively. So anytime I'd be sparring, and then when he'd come to watch me, and then I'd kind of get a little tired and flat-footed, he would always remind me like CNS, CNS, get moving, and I'd start shifting my weight between the 2 feet, and then so yeah, that's more of like a footwork thing and like more of a reactive thing.
Right, definitely. So many little intricacies that can be spotted out with the
Yeah.
striking, right? So, all right, Ramona. Well, I know you're very busy, so I don't want to keep you too long here on that tight schedule. But I'm curious, and I'm sure that a win on Saturday might take the answer to this question. But as of right now, when you look back at your career to this point, is there one win that you know you're kind of more proud of than all the other ones?
No, I mean, every fight is a new thing. You know, it's a new mountain to climb. It's a new flag to conquer. And yeah, I think it'll always be my last fight. You know, and after this fight, it'll be this fight, and after
Right,
the
right.
next fight, it'll be that one. So, you know, as you develop as a person, as a fighter, it's always different circumstances, different perspectives, like a broader sense of understanding of the sport and of who you are. So I think the latest one will always be the most meaningful.
Yeah, definitely makes plenty of sense there. So a very nice answer, Ramona. But okay, I can leave it off there. Big congratulations again. Very, very excited to finally see this, moment for you, because it is something that has been a long time coming, I think, and I think most will agree who have followed your journey. So just very happy for you and can't wait to watch it. So hope the rest of the week goes smoothly. So I appreciate you taking the time again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Drake.
All right, Ramona, take care.
All right, you too. Bye.